Hey guys, this is Mark Consuelos, and you're listening to Recap Rewind.
What is up, everybody? This is Recap Rewind. I'm JLAG, and I'm here with
NBEA.
This episode is recapping and reviewing Riverdale, Season 2, Episode 20, and it's called Chapter 33, Shadow of a Doubt.
Shadow of a Doubt. Can we kind of briefly explain why?
Shadow of a Yas.
Oh, because of Betty, maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, don't forget, stick around for the ending because we are going to go through our recap roundups, our MVPs, our LVPs, and we do have a few of those coming up, so stay tuned for that at the end.
No matter how you guys found us, make sure you guys like and subscribe. Thank you for listening and enjoy the podcast.
So what did you think of the episode?
Jeez Louise,
I'm still
where do we
I'm
start?
still a little like shooketh. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm shaking right now.
Shooketh, yeah.
I'm shooketh.
I don't know what to think about this episode. It was kind of like a lead up, but like, was it real? Like, what happened? But at the same time, like, so much happened, but at the same time, like, but why did it all happen? Like, it was very much like
100%. Yeah, no, I
I
completely agree. Like, it finished and I was like, holy crap, like, it was intense.
Yeah.
But like, did stuff happen?
Exactly.
Like everyone's going off and being like, Hal's not the Black Hood. I'm like, but yeah, guys, he still is though. Like, he could still be the Black Hood. Like, we didn't get to the bottom of that either.
And then you're asking like all these questions, like, why is Mayor McCoy still here? Like,
yeah, like, she's a lawyer now. Like,
there's
okay,
so many things that happened.
Like, there's a riot. Like, Reggie popped off. Like, all of a sudden, like, it was just like, wait, literally what? Like, so yeah. Anyways, let's get into it.
Let's get into the episode because, like I said, lots happened. So why don't you start it off? So they start off with the Cooper Res, right?
Yeah, they start off with the Cooper Res, and then Betty's like already like sketching out. Like, we're sketching out with her because she's watching her dad at this point.
Right.
And see, this is the one thing that I didn't like. Now that the focus is on Hal, like you were saying last week, it makes you question like, okay, it's not him now, because like he's so obvious.
It's so
you know
obvious.
What I mean? Or
yeah,
like
exactly.
he's trying to act like he's not, and like I'm like, okay, shit, like is he not actually the Black Hood right now? Like,
right.
So I'm sketching out too. But what does she do in that moment? She's kind of just like questioning him.
Yeah, she's
like,
just kind of like trying to figure out. She's trying to like find a reason to like bring it into the storyline. And I think she mentions Chick, right? She's just like,
yeah.
I guess they're trying to also like go back to like a level of normalcy, like
for sure. And they don't know anything about what she did with Chick. Like, she's like, oh yeah, I took him to the bus stop and like that's it. Like, he like left. Like, cool.
That was cool.
And Alice is like, oh, okay, sick.
But then like all the while, Betty's like keeps like eyeing her dad.
They're just like eyeing each other. Like, she's just like eyeballing him and he's kind of like eyeballing her. Like, it was very like, yeah,
it was very weird.
And Alice has no idea what's happening.
Yeah, she's just like, I'm totally checked out. My son is dead and like I don't know what's going on anymore.
She's like, I lost like FP's D. Like, I don't know what to do now with my life.
She's mourning a lot of losses right now. She can't deal. She can't deal with fucking Hal being the Black Hood, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
So then it cuts to the Pembroke, and VARCHIE is like, we get a little VARCHIE scene, and essentially Veronica is like taking care of Archie. He's like healing up or whatever since like what happened last episode with Nick Sinclair, and she says, just letting you know, since I like killed it on this one deal, my parents want me to like meet up with some boys and like get to the next level, and so all these boys are gonna come court me. And Archie's like, bitch, what? Like, he's like,
but he doesn't even glitch out. He's like, okay.
He's like, cool. Yeah, exactly.
So again, I think, and I'm having trouble with her storyline too, because I feel like last week as well, yeah, she had the big Nick St. Clair storyline, but I did again feel like it was placed there just to add like an intense part to her story.
To like give her something.
And then again this week too, I'm like, okay, did we need this though?
This part like, we definitely did not need.
Like, did we really need her like lurking on these guys and like being like, I'm gonna get my own casino right now? Like, did I need that?
Yeah.
Do you know? Like, again, it felt very like extra, really and guys, like, so much happened, but like
not a lot.
Yeah,
happened.
like I don't know.
Because
like, they're jamming these episodes.
They like they added a lot of layers to this that we weren't expecting to get this late in the season. I think like Fangs being in jail and like Veronica starting a business. Like, what? Like, you're 18 years old. Go to school.
You're gonna be done in 2 weeks. Don't start anything right now. Like, you're going on hiatus soon. Don't worry.
I don't understand.
Like, just don't. Just go screw your boyfriend. Like, that's fine.
Exactly. So anyway, so she's doing that, and he's like, okay, cool. Like, have fun. She's like, don't worry. It's just like me trying to figure out a partnership with like my dad for like money.
But yeah, and another thing is too, like, he doesn't get sketched out at all.
No, he doesn't even bat an eye.
Did you kind of want him to a little bit? Like, I felt like I was like, Archie, your girlfriend's like lurking on guys right now.
She literally said recording
not for
people.
real. Yeah, not for real. But like, yeah, he didn't even like like have no feelings. Like
I guess he assumed that like it was like all like PG, otherwise like she wouldn't have said it. But
I don't know.
Yeah, it was kind of weird that he didn't even like get phased by it. He's so checked out, man. He's so
that's
checked
what I mean.
out.
He's so out of that. He's even out of that storyline.
Yeah. He doesn't care. So then it cuts to him talking to Hiram, and Hiram essentially says like, you know, I know that you're like still sketching out about the Black Hood and like what happened with Midge. I think you should start the Dark Circle again. And Archie's like, what? It's so random. Hiram's like, yeah, I think that's a good idea. Like, I don't know. First of all,
everyone was tripping over Midge. I did not know how popular this girl was. Because like clearly people like felt some way about her.
Very much,
and like everyone is really heated this week. And I was like, oh, because of Midge. Oh, like, oh, okay.
I mean, somebody died or their classmate died. Like, I get it. Like, it's sad or whatever. But yeah, it's true. Like, she was not a part of the storyline. She was getting jingle jangle just in episode one. Like, I don't know why this is happening. So anyway, he says you should start the Dark Circle. We have a new sheriff in town. Like, I don't know like how he was trying to play, but he was basically saying like you should meet the new sheriff and like maybe the Dark Circle will be able to get away with more. Like, I don't know what he was trying to say.
He's trying to pull out all these things and to be like kind of convincing Archie to be like come
enticing
through,
him. Yeah.
Still be in the Dark Circle, like be a part of this. Let me like control you. But Archie's kind of like over it. He's like, no.
He's like I think he does say like, okay, maybe we'll see. Like, I'll talk to the boys and see like what they're up to.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know if he's like completely into it. So anyway, so then it cuts to Jughead and Betty. It's like a really quick scene of like Betty and Jughead just talking, and she's like freaking out about Chick, and Jughead's like, yeah, but it could be worse. And then Betty's like, yeah, like my dad could be the Black Hood. And he's like, ha ha ha, like true. And then she's like, no, but seriously.
She's like, no, I'm really worried though.
She's like freaking out. This poor girl has like been like holding this all in for the past episode. So anyway, she's still like glitching out. Jughead's like, whatever. We got like some things to do. And then it cuts to Veronica and Hermione. And Veronica's like about to leave for school. So I don't know why Hermione thought it was a good idea.
I don't know. For Mommy her to, is like all over the place, man.
All over the place. So she's like, meet these hot boys. They,
and like where did the boys come from? Like, don't they have school too? Clue. Like, what are they doing with their lives?
Private school. I don't know. So they're all just like sitting at the front table. Like they're sitting at the dining table and they're all just like waiting or talking.
Yeah.
And Hermione's like, okay, I'm just gonna like talk to these guys. Like, when are you gonna be available? And Veronica's like, I'm gonna go to school, so I'll talk to you later. Yeah. There was a lot of filler scenes.
You know what? Now that you're going through it, I'm like, that whole beginning half was like nothing. Like,
I'm like, can we just skip to the middle? Like, why is Recap Rewind set up this way? Like, anyway, let's move on.
Yeah.
So then it cuts to Cheryl and Betty, and they're talking at school.
So cute.
And
I always forget that they're like fam, because like even Cheryl was like, oh hey cuzzy. I'm like, oh yeah, they're cousins.
They really pushed it this episode.
They did.
Really
Cheryl really was like, we're blood, homie. Don't forget that.
Yeah. So because Betty also uses that as a reason, she's like, so when your dad was a killer, do you think that like you felt some type of way about it beforehand? And Cheryl's like, no, I know what you're talking about.
She's like, no, I didn't. Like, but in my subconscious, I did. Like, what the F does that mean?
She's such an art freak. I don't know. So Betty's like, I think my dad is the Black Hood. And then Cheryl's like, I don't think so. And she's like, I've seen him. He's not up to par when it comes to that kind of
stuff.
She's
like, he screwed my mom and like he made so much noise. Yeah. So like, I don't think he's that stealth.
She's like, he has a stealth of Marshmallow Man. She has the best lines too. Anyway, so Betty's basically like, I can feel it in my bones. Like, I think that he's like, I'm pretty sure it's him. We got to find out. And then Cheryl's like, okay, well, if you're gonna do this, then like it's gonna be a little dangerous potentially. And Betty's like, I don't think he's ever gonna hurt his own daughter. And then Cheryl's like, but yeah, I also thought that my dad wasn't gonna kill my twin brother, but he did. So tread carefully, cousin, she says. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, true. Okay, I get it. You guys are like cousins.
And like, I have to say, and I have to say, like, this is one of the moments where the pairing up between these two characters was like amazing. Seeing them together on screen was so so cute. They were so cute together. And I guess like we haven't really seen them together.
No, there was never a real reason for them to be together. Like, even thinking about who rescued her from like the sisters, it was Veronica and Tony.
It was Veronica. It wasn't even, totally. Yeah.
So This is okay. Just as a quick pause, just thinking about that right now. Look at all the different things that everyone was doing separately. Like Tony and Cheryl haven't had a moment for 2 episodes.
What was Tony doing? Yeah, I honestly was waiting for it. I was like, where are they gonna like at least see each other in the hallway?
Yeah, no. I guess it just doesn't like work that way in the show. Like we're thinking OC. Okay. This is not the OC. This is like this is my comic book chapters.
But this is my thing. Like you guys are amping up these episodes so much. You're throwing all this like ish at us. Can we at least get a couple of real moments to make it feel like there's some sort of connection?
I mean,
like,
I guess
you're right.
Do,
like,
but like
they could have in the hallway, like talk to each other, like quickly. Okay, but it can't always just be the core four. You know what I mean?
True.
Like
That's
now,
true.
like she has a storyline. Like Tony has a storyline.
Yeah,
like, we need a bit more of that too, and it can't just always be like go 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 go.
I guess,
and like you're saying, like the half episode was like a filler. Like
yeah, that's true. I guess because of that, like they can't fill any more scenes with like even more useless stuff.
I don't know.
Like I have no clue.
Veronica like leaving her like thing was like pretty useless. Like like her mom just being like, come, there's like men here, and she's like, no, I'll see you after. Like okay.
Like such a random thing to do. So then it cuts to Hiram and Hermione, I think, and Hiram is basically like, okay, well, like we're gonna do this, and like this is what we're gonna do for like the debate and this and this, and Hermione's like, basta, I got it, okay, don't worry about me. Yeah, she was like stressing.
She's like, basta, I can't think right now.
I'm so stressed. My eyebrows are too on fleek right now.
I was just gonna say that. I'm like, her eyebrows were so on fleek.
So then it cuts to the locker room, and Archie's basically like, hey guys, let's get the Dark Circle together. And like, no one's down for it, but like, Reggie's like, whatever.
Reggie's just like fuming. You can like see the smoke.
His nostrils are just
he's
like,
definitely just like
open.
heated right now.
Yeah.
So like, you're waiting for something to happen.
And so what happens is Moose is like, so funny story, Midge was like effing some other guy, and that's why I was pissed off, because he finds out that it was like a serpent. Right. And that's when like Reggie loses his like freaking mind.
Off. Like, okay, like honestly, I just want to say, like, Moose, you're the dumbest person I've ever seen in my entire life. You're the most useless boyfriend ever. Because like, first of all, Reggie's getting more heated than he is. Like, Moose didn't even give a shit that his girlfriend just got hung, and he's like not saving her. He like freaking walked to her body like after the Carrie thing.
Yeah.
And like even after all of this, like he's not even like being helpful.
Like
he's
Moose
not
is,
even
like,
angry.
Soft. He's not even
really like soft. He's not even like, yo, like some other man was like on my girl. Like, he doesn't even care. He's like, yeah, she was like with someone else.
I think that's what it like. I think that's what it's about, right? Like I think that Moose's character in the comics is like he's very like like he's very like much like that.
It just seemed weird contrasted beside Reggie, who was like he's never been with Midge, so like he was so turned and like he was so passionate about it. And I was like, but why are you like angry?
So they still don't know who it is. But Reggie's like, which one of you serpents? Like he's like trying to figure it out, but like they don't really know for sure. But like, yeah, I wrote down like, why is Reggie so upset? Like,
yeah, so basically they I think they run from the locker room to the classroom where like the serpents have their like daily meeting.
Their daily meeting,
and then like he's like, one of you guys like screwed Midge.
He's like, who screwed Midge?
And he's so angry. Like I love you, Reggie, but like you were too turned for me this episode, like way too aggressive,
way too lit, like,
and like he's like, I bet you it was you, Sweet Pea, and like Fangs is like wrinkling like in the corner. He's like, oh shit, it was
he's
me.
like, oh fuck. And then Sweet Corn's basically like, yo, like it wasn't me, like I don't even know Midge that well. And they all like get lit like again, like they so just get pissed off at each other. I don't even know what's happening. So then,
but there was a really cool moment between like when they get lit, like Archie and Jughead stop their like sides.
Yeah. It's like they're the leaders of their pack. So they're just like, chill and you chill and like, let's like move on with our lives. Yeah. And so then it cuts to, after that, like nothing really comes of that. And then it cuts to the Cooper Res. And Betty's like low key, like trying to be like all sleuthy or whatever. And she was like, hey dad, so I was thinking like maybe I can like join the register because like the whole debate's coming up and like maybe you'll need some help.
Yeah.
And
like mom's like not working right now. Like so
like let's all get together.
Out. Yeah. And he was like so happy. He's like, oh, my favorite girls are coming back. I'm like, where's Polly though? Like you're so like forgetting that you have another daughter. Like
no, every single time, every single episode. So then he was like, true. And then Betty's like, heh, like I'm gonna like get my dad now. And then it cuts to Jughead and Fangs, and this is at the trailer, and basically Fangs like tells him everything and is like, listen, I gotta tell you something. I was kissing my girl Midge, so it was her.
Which
so
I was really like, I wasn't shocked at this week, but I was shocked that that's a storyline because like I honestly thought that like Fangs was gonna go for Kevin.
Yeah,
like,
same. I wrote down. I
was like really
sorry,
convinced.
Kevin. I'm like, sorry,
yeah,
Kevin. I don't know.
I didn't think
there,
he
but...
was like going for Midge, but yeah.
I mean, I guess he could technically still. We never know with these children anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, he basically says like, yeah, we were making out or whatever, and Jughead's like, oh shit, that makes you look really, really guilty. And Fangs is like, I know, that's why I didn't say anything. And then Jughead just says like, don't worry, we got this, we'll like take care of it, don't worry.
He wants him to basically like erase his like camcorder footage.
Right. So then he's like, I gotta like go find it or whatever.
Like I gotta sneak into the freaking police office. Like, come on.
Yeah. So then it cuts to Pop's diner. And Veronica has like this diner, and Veronica has like this really cute like interview moment where she's like basically like shuffling through.
She's got her math glasses on again.
Her interview glasses.
She's like filing papers.
Yeah. So she's basically like trying to like figure out who's who and like all these boys.
Who was your favorite?
I liked I think it was the one that was like the canner, the first one. I was like
the canner?
Yeah. He was like we can can stuff and like maple syrup. And she's like, I only eat organic
and free range. Check
I was
it.
like, okay, well, he's just trying really hard to like use the resources that you guys have.
Yeah,
I think that's really smart, actually.
And then like anyway. the last guy that she talks to,
Elio,
he was like, oh, like we can do a casino and like make money, and like she was like already glowed up, like she was like, oh my god, casino, yes, she's like, money, so fabulous, yes.
And he basically says like the house always wins, and then she was like, ooh,
yeah,
like,
she basically like,
like he gets like sold, like she gets sold on him,
yeah,
and he kind of like he's like low key cute, like D-list actor cute. So
yeah, he wasn't, yeah.
Anyway, does that mean? Anyway.
No, I was gonna be way more mean than that.
You're like Z-list.
I'm not gonna say anything.
So anyway, so she's like, I'm feeling this guy. Like maybe I'll move on with like the casino.
Feeling it.
So then it cuts to school.
But also taking what she's talking about right now, though.
She's talking about building a casino.
Yes.
Guys,
like,
it's
what
episode
is happening?
20. Like, why
what
are we doing
F?
this right now? I don't understand, like, the purpose of this whole situation, but it's happening. So, then it cuts to school, and Jughead is like going to his locker, and he sees all these dark circle posters. First of all, how did they have time during class to print out dark circle posters and put them all over the school? Yeah. And like, what does that mean? Like, why did it turn into the dark circle instead of the red circle? Like, why did the red circle even disband in the first place? Like, is the red circle because it's like
rid of the red
Archie's
and they
because
colors.
He's a redhead, and then like the dark circle is dark because but it's stupid anyway. Whatever, they changed the color to dark, and they put the posters up for whatever reason. And Jughead's like, "Yo, what's going on with like your crew?" And Archie's like, "I don't know, man. Like, it's just kind of crazy right now. I can't really speak to that." But then Jughead does divulge and tell him about Fangs and says like, listen, like it's Fangs who was seeing Midge. Yeah. And
but like keep it on the DL.
But keep it on the DL.
He definitely didn't kill her. Like, don't worry. Like, it's fine. I'm gonna handle it. Whatever.
And then like randomly Archie's just like, let's talk to the sheriff and see if you can get your tape back, and then like we can figure this out later. So then it cuts to a scene with Archie, Jughead, the sheriff, the new sheriff, and Hiram. God. So
like,
what do you think
Daddy Keller was a daddy already, and now we have a next daddy sheriff. Like,
sheriff.
I mean, I don't want him to leave because, like, he's gonna leave because Keller's gonna come back, but I don't want him to leave.
I don't know. Yeah, he kind of.
He was like really.
He got nice eyes. I'll say that.
Yeah, no, like definitely. I feel like Hiram Lodge chose him because he was like a younger Hiram Lodge and like a taller version.
Yeah.
It looks like him kind of.
A little bit. Well, he's when
they were standing side by side. Yeah.
And clearly, like he has him. Like he's working for him
sure.
essentially, right?
He's
like
paid off.
He's paid off. So he introduces him to Archie and Jughead. He basically says like, this is Archie. He's like my favorite. And then he's like, this is the other one, like the next one, the troublemaker.
Yeah.
And so then Jughead's like, go fuck yourself. And then that's kind of that moment. The sheriff goes with Jughead to see if he can find the tape. So then he leaves. And then Archie and Hiram have a quick moment where he says, my girl Veronica is going and doing like something with like these boys, this one boy. Can you please like accompany her? And Archie's like, but once again, like, to your point,
totally
like,
unfazed,
completely
like,
checked
feels
out.
no way. Like, he's not like, yeah, I'm gonna be there. Obviously, he's not like, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna be there. Like,
he done finished at the cash register. He's like waiting in the car. Like, he's done. Like, he's out. He's checked out.
Yeah.
So then it cuts to Pop's diner, and essentially Veronica's talking to Elio, and she's like, let's talk about this like Sweetwater Casino. I'm so excited about it. And then he's like, cool. I'm so excited about it too. Again, Archie's checked out. And then she's like, let me just use like the little girl's room. Like, why don't you guys like just like talk or whatever, like, but like don't fight.
Yeah. And again, and like, then, so random. I'm like, why are we still in this scene though,
like,
right
why
now?
are we here right now?
Yeah.
So then it cuts to Archie and Elio talking, and he's like, so how did you like get with the lodges? And Archie's like, well, I'm just like
her like boyfriend.
Her. Like,
yeah.
Like, we're just.
And he's like, nah. He's like, I heard you're like the capo.
The capo who killed like, Papa Poutine. You killed
Papa Poutine because like Small Fries told me.
Yeah, Small Fries like, wait,
did he
Papa
just
Poutine's son.
Small Fries? Did he
legit? I had like a moment.
Just, like, I burst out laughing. I was like, what?
I was like, I hope that's not a nickname. Nope, it's his real name. Got it. Cool.
Papa Poutine's son is called Small Fries.
These are the moments where you remember that this is a comic book television show. Like, you have to like laugh about it. But yeah, his name's literally Small Fry. So I'm wondering if we're ever gonna see a Small Fry.
Oh, we're definitely gonna see Small Fry. We're definitely gonna see him.
I'm gonna die of laughter if he's blonde. So then it cuts to the register, and mom and dad, like Betty, the Cooper, like Alice and Hal, like leave, and Betty's like, okay, cool, like I'll
link up later, like
I'll link up with you later.
Bye.
And as soon as they leave, like she like runs through.
She doesn't even let them close the door. Like Hal like just closed the window door, and she's like running. She already has like her like thing, like her, what's it called?
She grabs a pin from her hair,
pin, yeah.
like right away, and she's like using it for everything. This girl uses this as a
she
master
used it
lock. Like, honestly,
in this one episode. She
like
probably used it like 5 times,
yeah.
and I'm surprised it still like exists.
It's like a universal key. Like,
yeah, exactly.
She can open anything.
She's got a master key to life, basically.
Yeah, seriously. So she opens up like the drawer, and she finds his schedule,
his like schedule book.
Yeah.
And like who freaking like.
So then she starts photocopying it, and then she calls Sherilyn, and she was like, yo, all of the like things match up, like Black Hood killing people matches up with the times when my dad was like been MIA.
Yeah.
And Cheryl was like, it doesn't really show that he's like guilty, but like it's probably like it shows that he could be potentially.
Yeah.
In that moment, she gets a call from the coroner's office,
yeah.
And he's like, come through. There's like an unidentified male in mid-20s. You should come through, and then like. And at first cash.
I was like, wait, why is he talking to Betty? And I'm like, oh, he must think it's like Alice.
He must think it's Alice because like remember how she paid off the guy to like get to see like Jason's body. So they go to the morgue, or they're about to leave for. She calls
up Cheryl. She's like, girl, we're going to the morgue tonight. And she's like, oh, okay, I'm down.
She's like, but why? But she's like, but why? And then Betty's like, so I basically killed my stepbrother, so we have to figure out if it's him or not.
Cheryl's like, oh, okay, cool.
She's like, cool. And then it cuts to so then that happens, and then it cuts to Pop's diner, and Jughead has a really quick moment with FP. Once again, a really random moment.
Very
like, why
random.
are we having these random little snippets? Like, I want to see what this would have looked like as a comic book, really, because like it's so disjointed. I don't understand why they like. It's almost like they wanted to put all of the scenes that they needed to put into the rest of the scripts, like, and like threw them all into one episode.
I feel like when they're amping up to a big like when they're amping up to a scene where a lot of the cast members are all in the scene together.
Yeah.
I feel like the scenes prior are all mashed up because they're trying to really funnel all these like 8 different storylines into this one big scene.
Right.
You know, and like they have to make them all sync up and fit. Like they were just at Pops. Like Veronica and Archie were just there. Like now Jughead's there.
Now,
like,
yeah.
You know, like so like when you really think about like, and I know you can't really in this kind of show, but like when you start to think about that, it shows.
You're just like, but why?
It shows like there's like a little bit of like this like sloppiness, I think, there too with the writing, maybe. Not that we mind it. It's just like it's just, you know,
just this episode, really, honestly.
Yeah.
So then it cuts to the Andrews res, and Fred is like up, and he's like looking pretty cheesed, and Archie's like, "What's going on, Dad? Like, what's going on? Why are you still awake?" And then he's like, "I got this letter." He's like, "I got this letter, and it says your next sinner on it.
What should I do?"
Like it was in the promo, and he's like freaking out a little bit. And then it cuts to like Hiram and Hermione coming through at the like Andrew's res, and they're like, "Don't worry, like we'll take care of you, we're gonna get like some people to like watch over your house. And did you see Hermione? So she gives him a look. And what do you think about that look?
He says something, and I hate that we can't remember what it is right now, because it was something like that Fred would like totally say, and like she kind of looks like not impressed, but like whatever he says really stands out to her, you know? And like it obviously didn't stand out to her, like Hiram, like because he wasn't fazed by it, or like he doesn't maybe agree on that same mindset. And she kind of was like, oh, that's such a Fred thing to say, I think, you know?
She was like, I love you.
You know, yeah, like I definitely think like along the way,
like
along the way she's gonna be like, this man, I should have married this man, you know what I mean? Like,
right. I should have married this one instead. So anyway, so she gives him the look, and she was like, okay, I want to see this happen, actually, to be honest. I want to see them get back together.
I do want to see it happen because Hiram has been slacking so freaking hard.
Especially this episode.
It's been
he like
a full
did not
season.
win.
You have not touched your wife at all. Okay? Like at this point, she's allowed to go and screw Fred if she wants. Not that Fred even wants her, because like he doesn't.
That's so rude.
But like, yeah, like Hiram's been slacking, and like I'm pretty cheesy about it.
I feel like I look at like Fred's eyes sometimes, and like even though he's like this humble, adorable like dad, I think he's got a few moves in there like where he's like kind of feeling some type of way.
I mean, yeah, like I'm sure if like Hermione rolled up like Veronica did later on in the episode, like I'm sure Fred would be like, yeah, we're doing this.
Like we're talking about Luke Perry here.
Yeah, so. But like when she looked at him, like he didn't look back at her or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like she was kind of just like, like literally.
True. Anyway, so then there's that moment, and then it cuts to Cheryl and Betty at the morgue, and they like do the slow motion zip down of this freaking bag.
Yeah.
And it isn't Chick. It's not Chick.
So who was it?
It was some random guy.
Okay.
Yeah, some rando. And like Betty like sighs, but then she basically tells Cheryl like everything. She's like, but I killed him and he's dead, and like Chick is like dead because of me. Like she still spirals even though it isn't Chick.
It isn't him. Yeah.
I feel like it was all just so we can hear that in the promo, because I just
I think you're totally right, and I think it was all just to set up the promo. Like, to be honest, because everyone was like, oh my god, it must be Chick in there, or like what are they doing at the morgue? Like I don't know. Yeah, like it led to nothing. Like for her to spiral, literally led to nothing.
Like for her to still spiral, even though it wasn't Chick, it's just like okay, but then
and like at the end of it, like she just lost money because she paid the guy off. So
yeah, it's so useless. Like that's all babysitting money. So then it cuts to so I don't know. Cheryl just is like, oh, that's too bad. Like I don't know, you didn't kill your brother. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to Betty talking to her dad. Oh, Cheryl does say like you should talk to your parents about this. Like maybe they'll like understand.
Yeah.
So then Betty goes ahead and tells her dad and her mom about what had happened. She's like, this is what happened. Like Chick like came like because the Black Hood was like with me.
Yeah.
Like,
I gave him up to the Black Hood.
Gave him up to the Black Hood. Told her from time.
Like that makes me an accomplice to murder.
Right.
And like she's feeling guilt and she's feeling bad.
And then she was like, I don't know why I couldn't do this. I think it's because I have a darkness inside.
I have a darkness in me. But like the whole time she's like looking at her dad.
Yeah.
Right. And like he's like, kind of like like he's not saying anything.
But then he says something really interesting. He's like, me too, girl. Me too.
Yeah.
He doesn't say girl, but he says me too.
Yeah, he reaches over, I think, and he was like, I feel it too. And he's like, when I was gone screwing Penelope, he's like, I really
like I felt sad.
But like yeah, he's like, when I was gone from you guys, he's like, I really felt it. Like I was in a really dark place.
I had a darkness. And she was like, no, I meant like rage, but okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like I don't get it. But
yeah.
But then like this freaking show, man, I can't with the show sometimes. She's like, true, you have a darkness inside you. And then he's like, yeah. And then like there's this like extreme close up of his freaking eyes. And like they literally do like a sound effect that's like shing. And his eyes
and I swear to God, guys, they turn bright green. Like they literally like turn on and turn green. I was like, what just happened? Like is he becoming a vampire? Like what's going on, guys?
Vampire dies. What the F? Now. I don't know what's going on.
So what do you think that meant? Like that extra like highlight on his eyes?
I think I want to say that like it probably has to do with the fact that like she's seeing it in him, but like that doesn't necessarily mean that he is it. But then again, I don't know, NB. I don't know. This is driving me crazy.
Like, if you really want to compare, I mean, his eyes definitely look exactly like that guy. Like, it really does.
Sure.
It does.
Like, especially once they turn green. Yeah, they totally do. But like, I don't know. It's just really confusing right now. I'm just not really like, I'm not really sold on what's going on. Anyway, we'll get to the end of the episode. We'll talk about it. So then it cuts to school, and Principal Weatherby, like, they find out that there's like a video that's going around.
Yeah,
so, like,
so the video
Jughead's
gets
like,
leaked.
Yeah, Tony's like, yo,
look
there's
at
like
the
this video. It's like, it shows like Midge and Fangs, like it's all over the place. And then in that moment, Principal Weatherby like is like, you must come to the office, Fangs. Yeah. Why does Principal Weatherby sound like the Black Hood is the real question. Like, did you hear his voice? He sounded like the
and
Black
he's
Hood.
always had like a deep like voice.
Dark voice.
Yeah.
Anyway, he calls him, and on the way to the principal's office, he sees like the sheriff who basically wants to arrest him, and then he sees Reggie and his crew like
everyone's basically like coming for him at this
like they're
point.
cornering
everyone
him.
Is so pissed.
Yeah.
And I really felt bad for him because I was like,
same.
You know, you've watched all these documentaries where like these kids are like wrongly accused.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, this is like how it kind of goes down. / like he just looked so innocent. Like he was just like so scared.
Yeah, poor little Fangs.
And like, okay, yeah, he was dating her. Like, why does that make him guilty like at all?
I mean, now it looks bad because he like didn't come
like,
forward before.
Whatever.
I can't. So anyway, in that moment, he like gets like shook up by Reggie, and like a knife, like a switchblade.
And again,
falls
it's
out of his
Reggie.
hand.
Like Moose is there, but like Moose is not as heated.
Yeah, exactly. Like Moose is like, yeah, you killed my daughter.
Yeah.
No.
So basically, like they push him to the wall, they push him to the floor, and like his pocket knife like comes off.
Yeah,
like, it,
and
like,
then
falls.
he gets arrested in that moment.
Yeah.
So then it cuts to Veronica and Hiram having like a really quick moment. Once again, a random insert.
Yeah.
And
she's like super excited, right?
She's so
like,
excited.
Daddy, I got the ish done. Like we're gonna make a casino in Riverdale. We're gonna make guap, whatever.
Yeah. And he's like, I don't think that's a good idea. Like that family, like they just use that stuff as like a drug front essentially. Yeah. So like,
because I think the guy, like Ely or whatever his name was, he was saying that he's like, no, everything's like legal. Like we're good. Like we're clean. Right. And then Hiram's like, no, like they're completely like dirty and shady. Like they're not. And
then she was like, meow. Like they're going my casino.
He shoots her down, and like honestly, like it's fine. Like, like what are you
this
doing?
Was literally your dream for like 2
girl.
seconds.
Yeah,
like, it's not that big of a deal.
Whose dream are you living right now? Like you're gonna be a casino queen? You're gonna be like freaking Sharon Stone in casino? Like who are you right now? Like chill.
So, I don't know why she was so
like
excited.
Why did she even get this storyline, guys? Like why is she gonna own a casino?
Tweet us at recap_.
It sounds ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And he like crushes her dreams, but I'm like, yeah, like
it doesn't matter. Yeah, stop being so irresponsible. So then it cuts to the Andrews res, and essentially Archie once again is having like a full out breakdown. he's like holding his bat, and he like wants to like help again, and like Fred is like, yo, there's like police outside. Like, you don't need to do this. You're totally fine. Just go to sleep. You're a kid. And Archie's like, no, I feel helpless. Like, that's why I'm doing all this crazy stuff with like Hiram. And Fred's like, I hear you. Like, you are crazy right now. So like, relax. But then Fred and him like have a quick moment where like they hug each other, and like cute. They're like, it's okay. Like, don't worry about it. Like, we got you. And then while he's at home sleeping, or like, I guess with his dad, there's a shot of the Dark Circle showing up at Southside with knives.
Yeah.
So it shows like Reggie being like, let's do this shit. And then he like puts on his hood, and then he like walks forward. And then
I love Reggie. You guys know I love Reggie, but he was so freaking extra in this episode. I could not handle it. I couldn't handle it.
I can't speak to you right now.
I couldn't.
Yeah, we're not talking. Like, yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, he was so extra and like so aggressive. I'm like
I'm
why? Like, why do you care so much about Midge and like hurting Fangs?
But also, like, why is he so angry? Like,
that's
why is he just generally such an angry kid?
Like, where did this anger come from? Like, yeah, he was angry, but like, why are you like so angry right now?
Yeah. And like, where were you the past like 4, 5, 6, 7 episodes? Like, why is Reggie suddenly out of nowhere getting a storyline?
Yeah.
Anyways.
And like, anyways.
So then it cuts to Archie getting a phone call the next morning from Jughead, and he's like, what the F? Like, the Dark Circle came to Southside and like slashed everybody's tires and like lit a dumpster on fire. Like, what the hell's wrong with you guys? And Archie's like, yo, that's like not my crew no more. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, that's not me. And in in that moment, Jughead is like, anyway, like, I'm angry at you or whatever. And then Mayor McCoy like comes into the sequence and he's like, okay, gotta go by. And like, I'm at the sheriff's office.
The lawyer's here.
So then Mayor McCoy like goes in. She's like, where is he?
She's like, hello, I'm the lawyer now.
She's like, I act as a lawyer now because I lost my Mayor McCoy like credentials. I know,
yeah.
So the guy like walks in. She's basically
like Fangs' lawyer.
Yeah. Also, when I saw like Mayor McCoy beside the new sheriff, I was like,
yo, me too. Oh my god, me too.
Oh my god. Oh my god. She's just like sheriff.
I was like, how long is it gonna be till she jumps on this one?
No, the white one's gone.
I'm there for it though. I'm there for it.
Oh, it's so funny. So anyway, she doesn't. And she's basically like, you can't speak anymore.
Like,
yeah. She like plays like the proper role. She's like, I'm a lawyer now.
Finally.
She's like, I'm a lawyer now. You can't like talk to him anymore. You're only here for
basically so like he had a weapon on school campus, so like it's a charge. Like you're not allowed to do that.
Right.
But she basically tells him, she's like, you're gonna be here for another day. Just don't talk.
Don't speak. Yeah.
I'm going home now. Like that was her lawyerly advice. I'm like, that's all you're gonna tell this kid? Just don't talk.
Essentially. But like the one thing that I wrote down is like, as if Jughead and Mayor McCoy are like BFFs now. Like, when did that happen?
Bro, what is going on with this episode? Like, what's going on?
Like, when did they make amends? Because wasn't he like trying to like shut her down, like dethrone
the adults
her
and kids have such like weird relationships.
Very very complicated relationships. So essentially, yeah, he like she helps out Jughead with. Like for no reason. Like, is this a pro bono case?
It was
like,
pro bono, and I'm pretty sure she said it too. Yeah.
I don't understand what's happening. Why is Mayor McCoy here?
It's so random.
Anyway, so then Archie goes to the dark circle, so like Reggie and whatever in the lockers, or just at school, and he's like, "You guys need to stop like doing this crazy stuff right now."
Yeah.
And Reggie like turns up and he's like, you can't tell me what to do anymore. Like, this is not your thing. Like, you don't even pay us. It's like Hiram that's paying us.
Yeah.
And then Archie's like, bitch, what?
He's like, what? Hiram Lodge is paying you guys? And everyone's like, true. Even Kevin was like, yeah.
So that's the part. Like, that's actually the moment that like kind of gagged me, because I know that like Kevin's a part of the dark circle, but why?
Yeah, me too. I was like, since when are you violent ever? Slash, like, when are you? Like, when were you part of this whole Hiram Lodge like plan?
Like, you're getting paid. You guys are getting all paid by like Hiram Lodge.
Yeah,
it's so weird. Well, they all look like shameful except for Reggie. Like, I guess it was supposed to be a secret, but now he knows.
I love that. Like, every time somebody like spoke bad about like the sheriff, they're like, no offense, Kevin. He's like, yeah, no, don't worry, like, no, not taking it. He's like, I'm good.
He's like, true. I'm just gonna like find the person like who did that to my dad.
Yeah.
Anyway, random scene.
Yeah.
And then
I mean, it's a pretty big like bomb drop.
Yeah, true. That's true. Like, the Hiram is the one that's
he's
like
paying Reggie,
funding the dark circle, which is really weird to me.
And Archie gets really sketched out. He was like, "What the f?" Like, I don't.
For good
this.
reason.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
He definitely gets angry for a good reason. So then it cuts to Veronica and Mayor McCoy again. She's like, why?
Yeah, back to back lawyer scenes. She's getting like her phone is like blowing up.
Popping off. So she gives Veronica some like
lawyer
real
advice.
legal advice about how to like run a casino like clean.
Basically, Veronica's like, hi Sierra, I know you're a lawyer. Can I open a casino in Riverdale? And she's like, yeah, like you can.
You can.
Like, it's pretty illegal to do that. She's like, thanks, that's all I needed to ask
bye.
Like, you could not ask Google that?
Yeah.
Like, really? You needed her help?
And once again, I wrote down, since when are Mayor McCoy and Veronica best friends?
Exactly.
Like, she, like, Jughead ruined her actual career, and then Veronica and her family ruined the rest of her life.
And she's okay with that, clearly.
Like, she's like, I just got to get my money because I got no clients. So, sure. Let me just get this
I wish they set up these scenes, like, a bit better. Like, for example, like if they were at Pops with Josie, like she was Josie, and then like Veronica was like, oh hey, by the way, can I ask your mom something?
Yeah,
like something like that. But it's like, why are you at Pops with her?
Yeah,
like, what, you hired a lawyer now? Like, it's just so random, and this is all happening in this episode.
I don't understand why like it all went down the way that it went down.
So that was her question. That was her only question. Anyways.
Yeah, and then she like leaves.
Yeah,
I was like, okay, cool, bye. Like, once again, like Mayor McCoy's off the docket again. So then it cuts to Cheryl and Betty, And Betty finds out that she's on the phone with Cheryl, and she's like, basically, this is what's happening right now. I found a bill that shows that he's still paying for the apartment that he was staying in when he got kicked out of the house.
Yeah.
So Cheryl's like, does that mean that we get to break into it? I'm so excited. So then they go.
She gets her thing again, her hair clip. She gets her
little bobby pin, and she
gets in.
And then it shows like this like crusty ass like place where he didn't clean up anywhere. Yeah. And essentially she's trying to find something that's incriminating. So Betty's like on one side and then Cheryl's on the other side. And then Cheryl's like, do you think it's weird that he has this? And then she shows her the Nancy Drew book, which is the same code book that
the Black Hood had like written to Betty originally.
So then like obviously Betty like glitches out. She's like,
for sure.
Oh my God, this is him.
I was like, oh, it's him for sure now. Like,
but then obviously I didn't think so. I was like, this is too obvious. Like, why would he have the book there still? It doesn't make any sense. I feel like
it's so obvious that like it's him. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Because at this point, like, why else would he have that 20 years later in her life? Why else would he have that Nancy Drew book like in his rental apartment?
Well, he had an explanation, so it makes sense to me. No. Okay. Anyway, so then it cuts to she kind of freaks out, and then in that same moment, he gives her a call, and he says, "Do you want to ride to this debate?" And she's like, "No, don't worry about it. Like, I'll see you. Like, we're just at school right now or something." And he's like, "Okay, cool. See ya." And then it cuts to the debate. So then it's Hermione and Fred. We're at the school.
Yeah.
And Hermione and Fred are on the stage, and they're just like kind of talking about both of their sides. And right before it starts, Veronica talks to Hiram really quickly. Yeah. And she was like, Daddy, this is what I did. I did it. I did everything that you asked, and like I got the casino ready to go, and like now we can like do it legally.
Because the lawyer said we can do it.
Yeah, Mayor McCoy told me it was good.
And he's like, I never asked you to do it though. Like, what are you talking about?
I basically said like,
he like shot her down again. He's like, I didn't ask you to do that. But he's right. Like, he didn't even ask her.
He didn't, but at the same time, like, he was really mean about it.
He was really mean, yeah.
He was like, your mom is up on stage. Like, let's just like, do this first.
Exactly.
To a point, like, he has a good point, but he's just really cold. He's
right.
He's just so cold about it. So then Hermione like goes in on Fred like pretty hard. She basically like has a really good case where she's like, we have a new sheriff, like was appointed by me, and he like got the killer of Midge.
The killer of Midge, yeah.
And everyone's like so lit about it.
Everyone's like, yeah. Even like Midge's mom was like, true, my daughter's dead. Like, she didn't even look sad.
She like forgot.
Yeah.
So then Hermione goes even further, and she's like, this crazy like vigilante group, the Dark Circle, and like in the corner,
dude,
like Reggie's
Hermione,
like
Hermione went off, eh? Like she
was like, totally went off.
She's like, and then did you know there's a radical, like crazy, like monster, trashy, violent, aggressive. Like she used every single word,
like every buzzword
to describe the Dark Circle. Yeah. And she's like, and it's run by Fred's son. Like she went off. She went off on that. And poor Archie was like so ashamed, like hiding in the curtains. And like so Fred was so shocked.
Because Fred was like, damn, how many more secrets do you have?
Yeah. Yeah. So basically Fred's like, oh my God, my son, I can't believe it. I didn't know this.
Yeah.
And then does it cut to Veronica right away?
Yeah, it cuts to Veronica, and she was like,
because we see a shadow kind of over the light.
Yeah.
And obviously for the promos, like we know like there's someone coming.
We know what happens. Yeah.
And then like she's like,
and then she's like, Blackwood. Yeah.
And then like this man's is like right up there like shooting
with a full out sniper rifle,
like a full out gun, like, and he's only like 10 meters away from the stage. Like it's not that big of a room. He's not that far. And like I don't know how he missed.
So he that's what I wrote. I was like, he doesn't get anybody, like nobody. He doesn't shoot anyone. So in that moment, it was kind of cute though, because Archie like jumps. What?
No, never mind. Keep going. Yeah, everyone kind of like jumps on each other, like to protect each other.
Yeah, Archie like jumps on his dad, which was really cute.
Yeah.
And then in that moment, Betty's like, Mom, Dad, where are you
guys?
Like
Betty, like, because she did see her dad before that. Like her dad was sitting like 2 like aisles over. And then as soon as like the shots fired, she lost her dad in like the carnage. And then later like she runs towards the stage and he's there like So we see him. And then like she glitches out because she's like, oh shit, like he's not the Black Hood. Like she sees the Black Hood. She sees her dad.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, okay, like he must not be like the Black Hood then.
Yeah. Which
I
like,
don't believe.
was she's glitching out too.
Yeah, she was very confused.
So
he doesn't kill anyone. Like
he doesn't kill
fine.
anybody, even though there's police there, and they didn't shoot him either.
And like, how did they not catch him?
They're like, pow, pow, pow.
There's only one way out. He has to go back down those stairs. So like, how the f did you guys not catch him?
I guess he found like some secret way back out, like some little hole or something. I don't know. He gets away, and then it cuts to Hiram, and he's basically like, oh well, Archie can help the sheriff, like, because he's seen the Black Hood, like we can do like a quick patrol around like the neighborhood or whatever.
Yeah.
And Archie like looks at Hiram and is like, no, I'm good. I'm gonna go home and like take care of my dad.
Yeah.
Like, we're good now. So then there's like this really quick like stare off with like Hiram and Archie, and Hiram is like a little disappointed,
like, oh,
but also like sad, but also like, did I do the right thing? But also like, am I evil? Like it's almost like he's asking himself like, is he an evil person? The answer is yes.
Yeah.
So then that's it. Then that's that sequence, and then it cuts to Jughead, Fangs, and Mayor McCoy, and like everything is like everyone hears about what happens at the place.
School. Yeah, at the school. And so basically, like what Mary McCoy, because she's there now at the jail, right?
Again,
and she's basically like, okay, like he's gonna get released like tonight or tomorrow, whatever.
Right.
And she's like, but you need to be careful because like there's a whole like rally going on outside. People are like really
people are gonna be pissed,
and like you can't just like it's gonna be very dangerous. Like just be careful.
Yeah, essentially. And then it cuts to the Pembroke. And Hermione and Veronica are together.
Hermione's
with, like, Hiram.
Shaking, like she can't even drink.
She's fully shook.
Yeah, like she's shooketh. And she's like glitching out.
And she's glitching out. Yeah.
And like the whole time, like Veronica's like, "Mom, are you okay? Like whatever, we'll stop, whatever."
She's like, "We can't do this anymore. Like you're gonna be in danger." And Hiram's like, "Nah, we good. Like
he's
we're
like,
gonna
no,
just
let's
like
keep going. Let's keep." And then Veronica's like, "Are you crazy?" Yeah. She's like, "Look at Mom." She's like freaking out.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "No."
And then Veronica turns up even more, and she was like, "Listen, Linda, you can't speak right now because like, Mom is about to get shut up." You know what I just did?
I'm gonna get my own casino. And then he's like, "You better not talk to me like that." Like he was like so daddy in that moment, and I was like, "Yes, finally!" Like he needed to put her in her place because she kind of was like being.
So brat. You're on his side, eh?
Yeah, because I feel like she was just going off, and I'm like. What are you talking about right now? He didn't ask you to do this. Why are you going 10 steps ahead? Like, just chill. Go take care of your mom. And don't talk to your dad like that. That's it.
Don't talk to your papa like that. He pays your bills. So, yeah, she's really cheesed at the end of that scene because she, like, thinks that she has, like, all this power and money. And he's like, I put your money that you stole from those people in a trust, so you can't touch that shit. Because
I think she was like, I got money though, and he was like, bitch, you got nothing until you're 21. You don't have anything
when you're more responsible.
Yeah.
So then like she's
like
and then Hiram has like a mic drop moment, and he's like, get out of here, girl.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to Betty and Hal again.
Yeah.
And Hal's basically like, okay, what's like, how are you feeling? Whatever. I don't know what's going on. Like I'm kind of like freaking out on the inside because like I wasn't really sure what was happening with you, but I basically thought you were the Black Hood.
Yeah. So mic drop.
Yeah. And because she says that she like basically says like she broke into like his like little apartment and she found the book, like what's the situation? And he was like, no man, it was a present for you, like I was gonna get you this for your birthday because like I know that you liked it or whatever. And she was like, true, okay, so it's a present, so I'm not
it's
crazy.
So funny, like seeing all this happen, like we've seen it before too, because even last season she did think that her dad killed Jason for like a minute. Yeah. And remember she went and asked him to.
Yeah, until Alice like laughed in his face.
Yeah.
She was like, you think your dad could do that? So
yeah. So now again, like she's like, yeah, Dad, I thought it was you. Like this guy must be so pissed. Like imagine accusing your dad of murder. I mean, twice. My dad would be like, get out. Like you're not my daughter anymore.
If she's right, then in that moment they hug. In that moment, what did you think?
He's the killer.
You're like, he's still the Black Hood.
I'm so not convinced. He is the killer.
Like you mean you're so convinced that he's the killer?
He's the killer. If there is anyone else, I'm gonna be so disappointed. I really am. Because It doesn't make sense. It can't be anyone else. And don't give me like, what's his face, Tallboy. Like, Tallboy's irrelevant. Tallboy's not a big enough character to freaking lead this entire season and be the killer. You know what I mean?
But it's not Tallboy as like a person. It's Tallboy as a hitman. Like, that's how I'm seeing Tallboy. I'm not seeing Tallboy as like anything but a hitman.
I think Hal did some shit though. I think Hal did get his hands dirty. I don't think Hal was just like the controller.
I don't know. I feel like he's not physically like able to do anything. Like, to Cheryl's point, I just don't think that
man that was running last week was like running like an old man. It probably is him.
I don't know. We can get to that because it comes back later on. Anyway.
See, but you're saying that you're like, he doesn't have it in him, just like Alice said it. But maybe now he does. You know?
Maybe. Yeah,
like,
maybe.
Who knows?
You're like, you sound like Alice right now.
Everyone underestimated him. He's like, no, bitch, that was me all season. I was killing everyone.
Yeah. So anyway, there's that hug moment, and she's still like, I guess she feels like, what do you think about it?
Like,
I'm kind of like, for me, it's like a bit of a toss up. I could see it happening, but also I'm like not completely sold on like whether or not. Here's the thing. I think that they had the guy shoot, but he didn't shoot anything or anyone.
So I feel like he was a decoy. Who do you think the guy was? Like, do you think
Tallboy? That's what I'm saying. He must be involved, because who else? Tell me who else is like associated with Hal? Who is it? Ethel Muggs?
No, I know you're right. Like, I know what you're saying makes sense, but like, it doesn't make sense. Like, he's such an useless character. Like, if it was him, I'd be so upset at the writers. I'd be like, guys, really? Like, you chose the dumbest person to be like the whole leader of this whole thing, or like a part of this whole thing. Like, it's just, it feels so cheap to me. That's why I don't want to accept it. Like, you know?
I don't know.
It's like,
it's weird. So,
I almost think what I think that shooter was placed by Hermione and Hiram. I think it was all a setup. To have some drama in that like event. It's very like the Lodge style to do that. I don't think the shooter was from the Black Hood's like side.
But also, like, why in that moment? Like, Hermione was killing it in the debate. You know what I mean?
I don't know. That one maybe we'll find out. Just to add like, I guess, like drama to like the situation.
To be like, see, there is murder in Riverdale.
Yeah.
And
or
I
like,
need to stop it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. But then they would have stopped him. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
if it was for him, then they would have been like, oh, we killed him. Like, now we like win.
Yeah, but like, how are they going to capture him like an innocent person?
I don't know.
You know?
I don't know. So anyway, let's move on to the trailer. So Jughead like runs in real quick, and he's like, Fangs is gonna get out tonight, like I don't know what to do. And randomly we get to see like somebody from season 1, Joaquin.
And Joaquin totally comes back, and like again, like I felt like that was totally like
random.
random fine, but like it was totally missed too in an episode where all this shit's going on. Like, Joaquin coming back is pretty massive, but and like it's just kind of overshadowed by like everything else that's going on
fully. So anyway, he comes in and he's like, I'm gonna take Fangs to San Junipero. So was that like a throw to Black Mirror?
It was totally for
I'm
sure.
Like, okay, cool. So like they go, or I don't know. So he stays there because FP's like, yeah, but we have to get him out first because there's like a riot about to happen. So like, you stay here, Joaquin.
Yeah.
Like, why are you staying in the trailer? Why were you in the sequence? I don't understand why they like. Why did the director even hire you for this episode? You were in it for 2 seconds. Why are you even offering him an out right now? He's not even out of jail yet. Like, I don't get it.
I don't know.
Anyway, so they leave, like Jughead and him leave, and then it cuts to Hiram talking to someone, and then the camera's like, he's like talking about the black circle, the dark circle, and he was like, you're gonna be really upset, but you're gonna have to like take it, and like we're gonna have to do something about this. And then it cuts to showing like Reggie who's like, it's like Reggie being like, so he's basically
like grooming like Reggie to be like this.
Well, I don't think he's grooming him as much as he's basically manipulating him, like right off the top. Like, he's just like, Reggie's easy to like, he's more malleable. Like, he thought that he could do it with Archie, he can't do it with Archie anymore, so he's doing it with Reggie. And now Reggie is like pissed off because he's like, because he tells him like Fangs is gonna get released soon, and like, you know, I know that you are upset, but like, don't do anything. But basically, he's like using reverse psychology to be like, do 100%, obviously. So Reggie's like, true. I'm going to do something. So then it cuts to Veronica and Archie, and Veronica shows up at like the Andrews residence, and she was like, I'm like, changing sides.
I'm here for Daddy Fred. And I was like, oh, this is going to go like another way, I guess.
Yeah. So now they're like with
yeah. She's like, I support you. She's like, I'm gonna be on your side. And I swear to God, like Archie's face, like the way KJ Appa like acted that moment, there was again like the added color to his eyes. It was like his soul was like coming out,
like more rosy cheeks, like his cheeks like wet, like back in color and stuff. He was so happy.
It was like their moment in the church. Remember when she was getting her her communion? It was like, oh.
So true. So he's like really happy.
Yeah.
And then he gets even more happy because they go upstairs and Veronica's like, sexy.
She closes the door and he's just like, whatever. And then she's wearing like this like Pico and she's like, oh yeah. And she's like, oh, and he's like, oh, like I didn't know that this was gonna happen. He's been so clueless
like
all
clueless
episode.
This whole episode.
All
yeah,
episode.
Totally. And so basically they have like a sexy
what's interesting is because the promos, first of all, everyone's freaking the F out. Everyone's like, oh my God, like sexy, like okay, like we've seen it before. But their dynamic is so interesting because like in all of this, like she's finding the time to like go and get it in. Yeah. But what I haven't seen from them, and like what I do want to see is like it's always her doing it. Do you know what I mean? Like it's her having that like power trip. I want to see like Archie like take the lead a little bit too, because like he was a little kind of like, oh, like I didn't know this is gonna, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's just lost. He's always lost.
But I think that's just his character. He's like very agreeable. He's not like
it's not though. He spent half the season being like this crazy like freaking cult leader.
That's true.
On like 2 different cults. So like obviously he's not.
But he's never been like aggressive toward Veronica. Like she was always the one that was like, hey.
Yeah, but I guess like I kind of just want to see that too now.
True. Okay. Well, let him know. So then it cuts to Betty, and she's calling her dad on the phone, and she was like, hey daddy, we need to talk. And
okay, so like, what happened between the time where she said, I think you're the Black Hood?
I don't know.
And
maybe he's at the register. Like I honestly have no clue why, where it came from, to be honest. Like why, like, is he not at home anymore? Like,
yeah, like, and what happened? Like, she sounds more suspicious now.
Is
like,
he in the living room?
What revelation did she have in the like the last like scene? I don't understand.
That's a good point. Like, I don't know like what she like,
sounded
realized.
Like before she was like okay with it. She was like, okay, he's not the killer, cool.
But
and then all of a sudden now she was like, Dad, we gotta talk.
Yeah.
And I was like, what did you find out though?
Oh, I think she like looks through her book or something, no? Or like
she looks through she's holding the mask. I know that. Like she's holding the Black Hood.
And then she was like,
and then that's it. She like calls him. Yeah. And she's like, we gotta talk.
I guess she like starts to feel like, this darkness inside me, it must be like in him too. And it must be him. Like she flips again. And so she's like, we need to do this. Meet me where it all started, like in the school, just like you wanted it, like just you and me. And he's like, okay, cool, bye. Like he doesn't say anything like cryptic, and Betty's just like sounding really weird at this point. And that's it. That scene.
Right.
That's that scene. And so she's like off to school, I guess, and like he's like on the way or whatever. Then it cuts to Jughead calling Archie, like being a cockblock, and he's like, yo, there's something crazy going on.
Not being a cockblock, they were already finished.
Well, they're done, but like they're cuddling. Done. It's still cute. They're cuddling. Yeah. Okay. So then, he's like, get down here. Like things are going crazy. There's a protest in front of the sheriff's office. Like you need to get down here and like get your people like away from here.
Archie's like, honestly.
He's like, it's not the time, guy. Like we're busy right now. And he's like, no, you have to get down here. Like things are gonna get dangerous. And then Archie's like, okay, fine, gotta go. So then it shows Betty in that moment, like she's bringing her gun, like Grundy's gun. To the place.
The meeting place.
She's like on her way still. And then it cuts to Jughead and the crew, and they're like inside the sheriff's office. Fangs is like freaking out because he's like, I don't know what to do, man. I'm gonna get killed out there. Like he's freaking out. And then everyone's like, they have this like Sailor Moon moment where they're like, in unity there's strength. And they like put their heads together and they're like, yas. And like everyone's excited to like move. And then like the music like pumps in. It's all slow motion. Everybody's like walking out, and like FP's in the front like trying to like push everybody forward. It felt very much like
that scene. It felt like that scene from last season where they have like the fight, like the Reggie.
Oh,
and
the
like,
rain fight scene.
The rain fight scene, because I think they were using like a special camera for that because it was all in slow-mo.
True.
And it felt like that. Like they slowed everything down.
Right.
It looked really cool.
Yeah.
And they walked through the crowd.
Right.
They start walking him, and there's
Slow
like
motion.
a lot of people like outside. Like
there's like a
mad at
divide,
this, like,
right?
young
There's some
kid.
people who are like free Fangs, and there's some people who are like put him in jail. He killed my girl. Yeah.
So like they're walking. Yeah, FP's there too. Like whatever. They're walking him, and then Archie shows up.
Archie shows up, but he's like in the back, and then he sees Reggie like in the crowd,
and he's
Reggie
the only one who like sees what's actually gonna happen.
Exactly,
because he sees Reggie like plowing through people, like ready to like kill Fangs.
Yeah, he's like pissed off.
He sees like Reggie go for his gun in the pocket. So then like Archie like turns Ev up, runs through the crowd. No one else is booking any of this, obviously, and he gets to Reggie.
Yeah.
Or like he jumps on Reggie.
And he jumps on him.
Yeah.
And in slow motion, he like stops him.
Yeah.
And he's holding the gun kind of like forward though. Like it's almost like both of their hands are on the gun.
But they're on the ground at this point.
But they're on the ground. And then all you hear is a gunshot. And then it's like this really like tragic moment where like it shows like Fangs in the middle and like he's bleeding from his
everyone like
stomach.
parts away. Everyone's like, oh yeah, we're good, whatever. And then you see like Fangs and like.
So Fangs
like
gets shot anyway,
hole.
essentially.
And which I didn't understand the logistics of that whole scene.
Right. So my thing was like, were we supposed to know
Who
that
shot the gun?
Like that's what I mean. Like, did Reggie shoot him
like,
or did he not?
Was there
shoot
even
him?
a gunshot that went off? I'm
there
sure
was
there
a gunshot.
was.
Yeah.
But
it
like
was very quiet, but like it was.
He was already on the floor. I feel like when the shot came out. So it's
like, I mean, like so unless he like angled the gun like right in the perfect place and like shot, then like it would have been. But they didn't make it seem like it was a struggle. It just seemed like it was like on the floor.
That's and like
so
they don't even show Reggie really like going for the gun and shooting him.
Yeah.
It was more like it looked like Archie got him, but even before he could even take out the gun from his pocket.
Right.
To me, that's what it looked like. And then all of a sudden, like you see that this kid's shot. I'm like, wait, what?
So then the question is like, did Reggie kill it? Did Reggie actually shoot, or did someone else in the crowd shoot him?
Yeah.
And
so
was it
are
the
you
Black
thinking
Hood?
that? Are you thinking that?
I originally thought that was him because I was like, did I miss something? Did Reggie actually shoot this guy? But it didn't seem like he did.
But the look on his face after was like he looked pretty messed up, like Reggie.
I don't know what they're trying to like tell us, but we'll find out. We'll find out next episode. But
it'll be more.
It was
tragic.
a pretty major
Obviously,
moment.
It'll be more tragic if like Reggie is the shooter. For sure.
For you, because he's gonna go to jail now.
Well, yeah, for everyone, for the whole story, for like the whole student like body, like everyone, and it's just gonna cause like a bigger rift between the serpent and them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like this is pretty epic. But if it was someone else like in the crowd, then like whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
So anyway, he falls to the floor. Fangs falls to the floor. He's not like instantly dead. So like he could still also be alive. Like it could be like a moose moment.
It's like the Glenn rule. It's like if you don't see them actually die, like he's probably not dead.
Right.
You know?
So he's like on the floor, and then people start like rioting against each other. Like there's this aerial shot where like they're kicking each other, and like everyone's like getting in like fights with each other. Right?
Yeah. So it basically like pops off. That sort of like ignites everyone, and they start like kind of going at each other, the two sides or whatever. Right. So there's gonna be a big war. I'm sure the end of this season we're gonna see like the two sides like having this mega fight.
And then it cuts to Betty waiting for her dad.
Yeah.
And she's just waiting.
And like he doesn't show up. Yeah.
He doesn't show up yet because we still think he's going to show up.
Yeah.
But then it cuts to Cheryl like at Thistle House.
Yeah.
And someone rings the doorbell and she opens the door and it's the Black Hood.
It happened so fast that like I kind of knew what was gonna happen, but like it was so fast that I was like, don't open the door. And then like she already opened the door and like it was him.
Screaming. I'm like, does no one use their peepholes? Like nobody uses their peepholes. And then that's how it ends. Yeah. And I was like, God, like so
Cheryl's
much.
been through so much this season.
I can't do this right now. Yeah. So yeah,
what does that mean
episode.
though? Like, what do you think that is?
Do you think that was actually the Black Hood though? And why is he at Thistle House?
Why
is he showing
up
there?
Like obviously I don't think he's gonna kill her. Maybe he's gonna kidnap her or.
But why? Like why? What's her game? Like what's his game? Like I don't understand.
The uncle has to be a part of this or something. Like
that's what I think.
They're not innocent in all of this.
In all honesty, if if the twin is also the killer this season, I'm gonna lose my mind.
That's
like
the
I'm
only,
gonna actually
yeah,
lose
like
my
that's
mind.
the only thing that I'm like, it can't be, because I'm like, okay, they're just putting it onto her family.
It's like two people. It's like Claudius and Clifford are the killers.
Yeah.
Like, what are they, like,
but,
evil
like,
twins?
I'm saying,
like, I don't understand.
Maybe it's not necessarily the Black Hood. Maybe it's like someone else pretending to be the Black Hood.
That's what I thought.
And like kidnapping her because like she does have power now, right? Like she owns the house now, right? So like they could be getting her.
True. I think like when I saw that last frame, I know this sounds kind of weird, but like it's almost as if like the hood wasn't the right hood. If that makes any sense. Yeah. Like you see it for like a quick second.
Maybe.
I need to like go back and check it.
For sure.
But like
for sure.
it's almost as if like it wasn't like it didn't
like
look
the
like
Black
it fit
Hood,
right.
Like the real one is like a canvas, not a canvasy, but it's like a ribbed sock almost, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas like this one kind of looked like a canvasy material.
Yeah, I don't know, or maybe I'm just reading into it too quickly. But like
we'll check it. Yeah, we'll do it.
I mean, also we'll find out next week. But yeah. it ends off pretty crazy. But that's the episode.
Like at this point, don't you feel like you just want to know who it is?
Yes.
And like not in a good way. Like I feel like I just want to know who it is now at this point.
But what is it? We only have 2 more episodes to go.
Sick
so
of this storyline.
It's coming soon.
Recap roundups.
Best moment. My best moment was the moment with Fred and Archie, because I feel like this was a really great, like, on top of what happened last episode and the episode before. Like, I just like to see the fact that like Archie's becoming like that like Team Fred thing now, and like I feel like the love for his dad and the dedication that he had for his dad is really what's been driving him this entire season. And I think seeing him again with his dad and like hugging him and being like, I just want to protect you, is like a very strong moment for him, you know? And like the fact that he also like told Hiram to fuck off. So it was like
big moment.
It was a really cute moment for me. What was yours?
My best moment was like right after that, when like they like Veronica and Archie just like do
the sexy moment.
Yeah.
True. Because I was totally like,
it was hard. I'm gonna be honest, it was hard choosing a best moment because I feel like so much happened, and I have a WTF moment for sure, but I just didn't have like a best moment.
It wasn't
I didn't have
a
favorite
moment.
moment.
Same.
WTF moment.
My WTF moment was definitely the ending with Cheryl and like her opening the door and being like, oh my god, it's the Black Hood.
Yeah.
Like what
is
the
it?
F?
Like who knows?
Yeah, but you know, yeah.
My WTF moment is with Fangs getting clocked, getting shot.
Did you feel like when you saw the like riot happening, somebody was gonna get shot?
It was a WTF moment mostly because I was like, yo, but like I still don't know who it is, like who shot who, but I definitely thought that something was gonna happen.
Yeah,
Someone
it had
was
to,
gonna
right? Like because the stakes have to go a little bit higher at this point.
Yeah, for sure. And like no shade against Fangs, but he's also like currently a disposable character, and like there's nothing really to him that like, you know, he could die just as easily as Midge.
MVP.
My MVP is gonna go to Betty and Cheryl together.
Yeah,
because I think they made the cutest like team.
They were cute
this
together,
week.
yeah, for sure.
We haven't seen them like together like this in a long time or ever. So it was there with
ever.
Yeah,
it was almost like the B and V, but like it was like the B and C.
Yeah,
it was cute. Yeah, for sure. My MVP this episode is Archie, because like I said, he like kind of came through, and like I like the fact that he like shafted Hiram for real, because like he didn't have to say it to him. He didn't have to say like, you know what, like you're really like doing some effed up shit. He was just like, I'm gonna go home to my dad, and what, like he just like, you know, he did really well this episode. So good job, Archie.
LVP.
My LVP is gonna be Sierra the lawyer, just because I feel like she didn't really give Fangs like great advice. Like she kind of just told him like not to like talk.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I didn't really know who else to give it to. I was kind of just like, I guess her. She's kind of useless.
My LVP is gonna go to your man, Reggie Mantle.
Yeah, I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't say it. I couldn't say it.
You couldn't bring yourself to say it.
I couldn't do it to him, but
So
he was a big LVP for sure.
Yeah, what the hell, man?
Yeah,
like
he was.
He had a gun.
Him and
he was gonna
Moose.
shoot him. You know what I mean? Like he was about to
He
turn up and
took
get
it
even
way
worse.
too far.
Like way
and
too
like
far.
honestly, like I think I would have been like not like justified, but like I would have been like a bit more like thing if like it was his girlfriend at least. Like he doesn't have a connection to this storyline. Like why does he care so much about Midge and like what happened to her? Like
it's almost like they were gonna pair him with Midge, but they just decided not to.
Yes, exactly.
Like I don't get it.
The best line.
My best line, it was right at the beginning, and I kind of forgot like the context of the convo, but I think it's when one of like the suitors asks Veronica like, do you box, or like, do you know any boxers?
Right. Yeah.
And like she's like, yeah, she's like Michelle Rodriguez in Girl Fight. Yeah. I just died because it was so funny.
She has some really good lines in the beginning.
Yeah.
A lot of like really random ones, but yeah.
Because like when I think of like a boxing like female, I'm like, yeah, Michelle
Michelle
Rodriguez. Like literally.
My best line is a classic line that we've had from time, but it comes up once again, is I have a darkness inside of me.
For sure.
It comes up again from Betty, but this time it's reiterated by Hal. So it's very interesting to see this come up again. I really feel like this whole like darkness is why it is what it is right now. Like the Black Hood,
and you know,
I don't even know anymore.
Just watching this whole season, getting to the end of it when we do, if Hal isn't associated at all, don't you feel like a little let down? Like
yeah,
they hinted at this darkness and this whole like story of your inner like dark person, and like it's fat, like whatever. And like if it's not him, I'm gonna be like, what the F? Like are you
why
kidding
was
me?
that?
Like
what was the situation?
You did all of that conversation and all of that dialogue, and like nothing led to anything in the end. Yeah. Like it's really cheap if like it's not him, you know?
We'll see. So that's the end of the episode, y'alls. But before we finish
be blowing up on Twitter right now.
You guys blew us up. Thanks so much for commenting. We have a few. We asked you guys what you thought of the episode. We had at @zipper_pull say full dark, no stars. And then we had at Postmaster Radio saying awesome episode. I hope Fangs is going to make it though. Also, before this episode, I was happy to hear that Reggie would be a series regular next season. That is true. But after this episode, not until Reggie redeems himself. I agree. We have Crafty Katie say, holy effing ish. Like you think Riverdale has capped out on intensity, then it's like, nah, hold my beer, lol. I really feel this Black Hood shenanigans is really a group effort now. Even if Hal isn't the Black Hood, he is legit creepy AF and should be banned. Haha.
Agreed.
I still do think that it could be a group situation for
it
sure.
It could. Yeah, it could.
Because I just feel like there's a lot of Black Hoods running around.
Yeah. There's so many now.
Yeah. Tina Hoven says, I love the Betty Cheryl team up. Either Hiram hired a fake Black Hood to cause trouble at the debate, or is behind the real Black Hood. If Hal isn't Black Hood, why did the Black Hood go after Cheryl? Maybe Archie finally learned his lesson about Hiram. The Veronica casino thing was too extra. Grizzled.
100 agreed.
I love our rewinders. Thanks for tuning in, guys, letting us know what you guys thought about the episode. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. A few quick reminders. We released the interview that we had with Mark Consuelo, so I hope you guys listened to that. If not, check out our YouTube channel because it's on there, and it's also on iTunes. The full entire thing is on there. Secondly and lastly, we need to remind you guys that next week is the last week that you can enter our Popsocket giveaway contest. So make sure you guys do that. We want your entries by the 10th, so that's the day after next week's episode, and then we will announce it for the season finale on May 16th, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. But all you really need to do is
make sure you subscribe to our channel on YouTube, like the video, and then make sure you comment on one of the videos, and let us know if you had Betty's black wig all to yourself, what would you name it?
Give us some great ideas, and the best answer is gonna win a little Popsocket. So that's it, guys. Thanks for listening.
Bye.